Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. I am Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is the yeast from the East, Dan Ryan.
Jesus Christ. I saw that you made a list, but I didn't look at what my nickname was going to be this week. But, man, do I like the yeast from the East. That's good.
Per Ferg's request, because I believe today, the day we are recording this, is Ferg's birthday. Happy birthday, Ferg!
Oh, happy birthday, Ferg.
Dan and I are going to talk about bread, I think. I hope you know what's going on, because I sure don't. The Stone Age Gamer Podcast starts now. Hi, everyone. This is episode 442. It is the week of December 23rd, 2022. And I'm home. I'm back home. Which is good. I'm not recording remotely anymore. All is somewhat leveled out, except, more wacky stuff happened this week. You can follow. I'll go first because I'm sure your car situation was more interesting than mine. Actually, I'm not sure about that.
Mine was just very frustrating.
Oh, mine was all right. So it's always one thing after another, right? My dishwasher broke down like the week before last. We had just surprise. We got to throw a bunch of money at that, and then I had to go take care of a big family emergency last week. Surprise! There you go. Granted, that didn't cost us any real money, but on the way home.
Now, you should have gotten paid for that, if we're being honest.
On the way home from that, I noticed that we had to stop for gas, which I thought was a little weird, because I looked at how much gas we had when we left, and I was like, yeah, we can make it home on that. That's no problem. And then we needed gas, and I thought that was a little odd.
Yeah.
So Monday morning, I go take the kids to school, and on the way back, as soon as I start the car, as I'm leaving the school, the check engine light comes on. And not the get an oil change check engine. It's the something's wrong, go to the mechanic check engine light. It's like, this is exactly what I need. You gotta get
one of those fucking scanner things so you can tell the mechanic what's up.
Well, none of us guessed what it was. We're like, money is so tight right now. We're we're just barely getting by, and all we need is like 2-3 months where nothing extra happens. We can handle like the regular shit. We've got our budget figured out. As long as we can just have a little bit of a break where something like the dishwasher or the car or whatever doesn't jump out at us, because a few weeks ago I had to take the car in for like $1,200 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
No, that was more than a month ago, and then I had to go back to get another tire patched, and now, and then the check engine light comes on. I'm like, okay, well, we just did all the regular maintenance things. What is going on with the maintenance light? This can't be good. And why didn't they pick up on this when I was there last time? So I brought it in, and I explained. I didn't explain the gas thing because I just thought it was weird. It didn't occur to me that there was something that was connected to the gas problem.
Did you go to a mechanic or a dealership?
I went to Pep Boys.
Okay.
There's a Pep Boys across from my house. They've done good work on my car so far.
Sure. I'm just wondering.
So I brought it in, and they were like, okay, well, I mean, we'll run. I know that light could mean any number of things. So we got to run the diagnostic, which is like $100 to do the sweep thing or whatever.
Oh,
and I was like, that sucks. And he was like, I'll tell you what, if you go over to AutoZone, they do this like free thing. And he said what it was, and I was like, I don't know what that is. You got to talk to me like I'm a child here. And he was like, you know what? Hold on a minute. And he went and talked to somebody. He's like, all right, we're going to take care of that free thing for you. We're going to do that. Don't you worry. Just go have a seat. Chill out for a minute. We're going to take care of this for him. Like,
you sad little man.
Yeah,
just fucking
he took pity on me.
Sit down.
I was so happy he took pity on me. So they run the whole diagnostic thing.
Awesome.
And they determined that there was, from the diagnostic thing, like the preliminary thing that they did for free. They determined that there was something going on where the reason the light came on was that my car was not using fuel correctly. Like, it was taking in more fuel than it should be. Now, it was probably just like, there's probably like a hose or something in there, but we can't know for sure until we do the full thingy. That's $100, and then whatever else is going to be is on top of that. And that's just the way it is. But at least we've narrowed it down. It's probably not going to be crazy expensive, but this is what it is. So I left the car, walked home, and a few hours later, the guy calls back. He's like, "Well, we didn't see this one coming." Apparently,
never at all what you want to hear from a mechanic.
No. Apparently, a squirrel decided to attempt to live in my air filter.
Wow.
They opened, well, we assume it's a squirrel because there was a bunch of nuts in there and like, but the squirrel chewed up the air filter, and the squirrel chewed up one of the cables, which is why the fuel was not working correctly. So they needed to replace the cable, they needed to replace the air filter and like the little thing that it went in or something, and they also had to flush all the fluids because there was poop in them. And that cost me just shy of $500.
Oh, fuck you.
Which I don't fucking have.
That is not a $500 job.
No.
God damn it. That is not a $500 job at all.
Well, apparently everything's a $500 job.
Well, no, I mean it is, but oh god, that's so like, much better.
We're just trying to like
story.
We were just having the conversation about like, all right, we got to get like, there's Christmas presents we still need to pay for. We're good. Like we can do this. But then all of a sudden, wait, no. Well, I'm glad you didn't buy those Christmas presents yet because we have to pay $500 to fix some fucking squirrel damage in my car.
That is absurd. That's
Meanwhile,
funny.
It's funny. It's a good story. I got a good story out of it, but I'm like, we're still waiting.
But you also got a $500 bill out of it.
We did. And we're still waiting for Karen's Christmas bonus. Now, Karen, I got, as an employee of Stone Age Gamer, like for the work that I do, I got a Christmas bonus.
Wow.
Karen, who works for a pretty big company with a full-time job doing work that's way harder than what I do.
Yeah.
What she gets every year is like...
is a Jelly of the Month Club. It's the gift that keeps on giving, Clark.
The whole year round. She gets like an Amazon gift card as her Christmas bonus every year. We're still waiting on that Amazon gift card. Now, they never said they were going to give a Christmas bonus, quote unquote, this year. But right now, she's feeling very Clark Griswold because here we are, recording on December 16th. We're a week out from Christmas. So she made like a list, like, all right, well, we'll just get as many of the gifts as we can through Amazon, and we'll just throw whatever I get for my bonus at that and then cover the difference. But we haven't pulled the trigger on that order yet because we haven't gotten the bonus yet. And I'm starting to think we're not gonna, which is so infuriating because, like Clark Griswold said, if you're going to cut out bonuses, at least tell people.
Fucking tell somebody.
At least tell us, you know?
Yeah, like, I don't get one, so I don't ever count on one. You know? I know I'm not getting it. My government job, they're like, you have a job, fuck off.
They did a Christmas party this year that was remote. So now
that's a fun way to do a party.
They'll make her go into the office that she doesn't need to do. They'll make her go there. Right. But they won't throw an in-person Christmas party.
Right.
And during the online Christmas party, they started talking about how, wow, you know, we should really plan some sort of in-person get-together so that you guys can all show off the prizes you won from this virtual Christmas party.
Wow.
And I just wanted to explode.
That's some tone-deaf fucking stupidity.
Like, we don't have 2 cars, right? So, like,
Right.
she's got a carpool to get to work right now, which she fucking hates.
Of
Especially
course.
because she doesn't need to be there. If the last 2 years have proven anything, it's that she doesn't need to be there. She has got, everyone has worked just fine from home. But they're making her go to the office
even
2 days.
skipped a beat.
Not even a little. If anything, things have gotten better.
Of course they have.
But no, 2 days a week, she's got to haul her ass into this office and sit there.
Looking at people for no fucking reason.
Well, they got to get their money's worth out of this building they rented.
No, don't rent the fucking building. Don't renew your lease. Fucking, that's on you.
Absolutely
that's some you
ridiculous.
shit.
And then they online Christmas party. Let's hop on this Zoom call.
God damn it.
No, so talk to me about your car troubles.
So I have
How many squirrels were in your car?
7. There were 7 squirrels in my car and a badger, which aren't native to New Jersey, which is interesting. I think the squirrels were working with the badger to fuck me over. No, so
Badger hitched a ride in a different car to get to your car.
That's right. He came up with Evan a couple weeks ago. Evan didn't stop by, but the badger got here.
He just drove by and threw a badger at your house.
A fucking badger at my car. Asshole. God damn it. It all makes sense now. It's all coming together.
I'm just picturing him doing it too. And like, and your house would be on the right. So he would have had to roll down the passenger window and thrown the badger past Angie to get to her.
Yeah, no, because Angie was trying to talk him out of it the whole
She's
time.
like,
He was like, no, this will be fucking great.
This is a bad idea. And Evan's like, no. Sean didn't deliver on the box full of Transformers or whatever.
That's right. You get a box full of bullshit, so he's gonna get a badger in the ass. God damn it. So I have a Kia Sorento is what I have. And apparently, so the day that I got God of War,
oh thank God, this has something to do with video games.
Yeah, so kind of. No, I mean tangentially at best.
You mentioned a video game. We're on topic, Dan. We nailed it.
Before I went to get God of War, across the street from the video game shop is a Valvoline, like drive in and we'll change your oil real quick. I'm like, okay, sure. I got it. It's time. I got to do that. So I go in there and get the oil changed, right? And then I go get God of War. And about 2 weeks later, my car is making a noise that sounds like it doesn't have enough oil in it. I'm like, motherfucker, say what? All right, let's check this out. So I, check the old dipstick, and there is like no oil in the car. And I was like, oh, maybe they just didn't like screw something on right, or it's a bad oil filter, like whatever. So I'm going to go back to Valvoline and just like see if they'll do something about it. So I pull back in and tell the guy the story. I'm like, I was here about 2 weeks ago. I was like, I don't have the receipt, but it was the day God of War came out. And he was like, oh shit, that was like 2 weeks ago. Let me look it up. Hold on. So like he pulls it up in his system and he's like, oh yeah, here you are. Kia Sorento, Dan. Yeah. Blah, blah. Okay. And I tell him the whole thing, and he's like, I got some bad news for you, friend. And I was like, oh, good. That's what I like to hear when I'm sitting here with no oil in my car. He was like, I can 99% guarantee you that that it's not a bad oil filter. I'm going to change the oil filter anyway, but it's not a bad oil filter. And it's not that a cap was not screwed in tightly. But I'm also going to refill your oil, no charge. He was like, here's what's actually happened. He said, how many miles do you have on your car? And I had like, at that point, and this was like 2 weeks ago, that this happened. So I was like, like 119 and some change, like pushing 120,000. He was like, well, this particular model of Kia that you have has actually had a class action lawsuit levied against Hyundai and Kia, because these engines apparently somewhere between 100,000 and 120,000 miles decide that they are just going to burn oil like a fucking arsonist. That's what they're going to do. And I was like, okay, sweet, good to hear. He was like, so what you want to do is take about another 2 weeks, kind of see where you're at. And if you're low on oil, it's definitely because it's burning the oil. He was like, are you getting blue smoke out of the back? I was like, oh yeah, a whole bunch of that. I just thought it was because it was cold. Because, you know, car exhaust when it's cold, whatever. It's been really cold here the last couple of weeks. Certainly in the morning when I started up, it's been like 22 degrees, you know, so there's going to be smoke coming out of the exhaust. So I really wasn't even thinking about it too much. But he was like, so if it's low in 2 weeks, you're going to want to take it to Kia. Okay, no problem. So 2 weeks later is this week. And everybody's still super sick. Tiff was sick. I was sick all week. But on Monday, I stayed home from work, and I was like, all right, the kids are home from school. Tiff is mid at best. I'm going to go over to Kia. And I'm going to talk to them because I looked on the website, it doesn't even matter what website it was. It was some government website about like the class action lawsuit, and they were like, you bring your car into Kia, and they'll fill your oil, and they'll do an oil consumption test, and they put like a tamper-proof cap on the oil tank, and you come back in 1,000 miles, and they check it, and if it is burning oil at a certain rate within that 1,000 miles, they will either repair the engine for free or they will give you a new fucking engine because it's that bad of a problem.
Wow.
Okay, cool. No problem.
Will they put the new engine in the car, or they just give you the new
hand
engine?
It to you. They're like, can you hold this 6,000 pound engine? I hope you can. I don't know how much engines. They don't weigh 6,000 pounds, but 600 pounds probably would have been better. Whatever. No, they just hand it to you and they go, fuck off. Which is basically what the guy at Kia told me. So I go into Kia and I'm like, all right, so here's what's up. And I told him the whole thing. And he says, okay, here's what I can tell you. I went, not how I wanted this situation to be handled by you, Mr. Kia serviceman, because you're about to tell me some bullshit and it's going to piss me off and I'm going to walk out of here with zero resolution to my problem. And he went, yeah, probably. Okay, great. He said, unless your car is showing a certain engine code right now, which it's not showing because I have the ODI scanner, and when my check engine light comes on, I just scan the damn thing myself and don't have to pay Pep Boys $500 to fix my fucking air filter. God, don't do that. I'll show you how to fix an air filter. Real easy. So I check, there's no code, right? No code. And he says, okay, if there's no code, then what I need to do is I need to do a $200 diagnostic on your car to find out if it is bearings in the engine that is burning the oil. He said, and then he said, Kris, the serviceman at Kia, the nice man behind the desk, said these words. I know for a fact it is not the oil bearings, it's not the bearings in the engine that is causing your engine to burn oil. He said, but unless you give me $200 today, then what is going to happen is that when your engine seizes and you have it towed to this dealership, then we will fix it for free. And I went, you can fuck right off. I do not have $200 to give you today. And you're legitimately telling me that I have to drive my car until the engine stops. And he went, yeah.
You need to put yourself in danger.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the hell?
And I was like, is that like the official corporate response that you're supposed to give me? And he was like, no, of course not. But I'm telling you, I know what it is, but I can't do anything until you give me $200. That's how much our test is. I said, but if you know what it is, can't you just put the fuck... You just told me you know what it is. You know, I know, you know that I know you know, because you fucking told me. And you can't... And he was like, no.
Know.
He was like, no, I can't. He was like, I'm very sorry, but you are not the only person who has come in for this today. You will not be the last person who has come in for this today. This is a known problem. So get some oil, top it off, and when you can, give me $200 to do the oil consumption tests. That will tell me what I already know. I went, cool. That's fucking awesome.
Was this man also a squirrel?
He was, on top of that, he was wearing a squirrel costume. He was like a fucking
24
like
squirrels in a trench
squirrel.
coat.
He's like a Zubilee Zoo squirrel. It's like talking to cockatoo. Fuck you. This is bullshit. I'm so angry. And
wow.
I just left. So I was like, fuck it. I'll spend $20 over like this for the next 2 weeks, and I'll fucking top the oil off. And then like when I have an extra $200, which doesn't sound like a lot of money, but like right now kinda is around the holidays and shit.
I wish I had $200.
I was just so fucking frustrated to have somebody at the dealership be like, I know what your problem is. I know what we have to do to fix it. I'm not gonna. I'm just not gonna unless you give me some money. I don't want to give you money. And I told him, I was like, that sounds like an awful big waste of $200 today to me, sir. He was like, yeah, no, I get that, but that's where we are. I went, okay, cool. I'm just gonna go home then with no resolution to my problem as assumed, and continue to feel sick for the rest of the week. So, yeah, that's where my car is at. Isn't that fun? Isn't that a good story?
That's a hoot and a holler.
Needs
more squirrels.
That definitely does. Definitely does. That's man, what a fucked up thing.
Yeah, that is fucking awful. Like, yes, we know what's wrong, but until it actually goes, we will not do preventative maintenance. Is what he's telling you.
Yeah.
Even though we know that it is effectively necessary and we are putting you in danger by not doing it.
Yep.
We're not responsible for it until it's actually broken.
You're going to be driving along the highway one time and your engine is the pistons are going to stop pistoning, and you're going to hopefully be able to pull over to the side of the road, and you'll get towed here, and then we'll fix it.
The pistons will pissed out.
They will piss-straw me is what they will fucking do. Oh,
wow. Wow.
What a callback to what nobody else knows. I know.
You're a comedic genius, and you don't get enough credit for that.
I really don't. And I'm kind of getting tired of it, if I'm being honest. Like, it's a little upsetting.
I did play your Santa joke. Like, I played the opening of the episode for the kids. Your Santa joke about.
Oh, nice. Did they appreciate it?
No.
Oh man,
I thought they would, because I thought it was genuinely funny, and I thought they'd get it. I mean, I didn't expect Ellie to get it. She doesn't really get, parking I don't know. I guess they did. They didn't.
She
really
doesn't really
get,
understand the concept of valet parking.
Oh, it was the on the house. That's what they didn't get.
On the house. It's on
They
the
didn't
house.
understand the expression. It's on the house.
Oh, the idiom. It's on the house. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
That's fair.
because Santa's on the roof. Like, well, of course he's on the roof.
He's on the house.
I was
Try
like, oh,
try
wait,
this one.
You don't know what on the house means. Okay,
Why-
all right, I got it.
Why do bees have sticky hair?
I don't know why.
Because they use honeycombs. Like, they'll get that one, I think. Or
I love it.
and see this one. This might be a little too much. Did you hear about the giant who threw up?
No.
No, it's all over town. That might be too like I don't know. That might be too highbrow for them. Maybe just like fart and see if they let.
Well, yeah, that gets him every time.
I mean, it gets me every time if we're being honest. That's how I know I'm not an old man yet, is because I still laugh no matter when someone farts. It's always funny. Always fucking fun. Oh, God. So then I spent the rest of the week sick, Kris, is what I did. I came home and I put on YouTube and I watched
Too
this
sick to
YouTube.
even play games.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, like
I
I
hate
barely
that.
touched pad. I barely touched. It's not like I couldn't. My brain was fucking foggy all week. Like not like even when I had COVID earlier this year, like I was still fine and whatever for the most part. But
Mhm.
like this week, I just couldn't. It's not that I couldn't concentrate. I just couldn't concentrate for long enough to care about anything. So I found this YouTube channel called Old Things Never Die, and this other YouTube channel called Tech Moan, which is not a great name for what this channel is. But Old Things Never Die is just a restoration channel, and like this dude, I think he's French, just takes like old shit and fixes it. You know, stuff from like the late 1800s, early 1900s, like 1910s, 20s, like old metal toys and this fucking bread cutter and like just all this weird shit, and fixes them and restores them to brand new, and it's all like ASMR style. Like he doesn't talk. You know, so today, guys, we're gonna fucking redo this bread cutter. It's really fucking great. And if you check out my sponsors in the doobly doo and whatever, like it's none of that bullshit. Make sure to like, click, and subscribe. All right, let's fix this shit. Like, which is how I would do a restoration channel. All right, we're gonna fucking fix things. I do that voice the whole time. Do a fucking Duffman impersonation. Fix things poorly. Like, I don't know what color was it originally. Doesn't matter. I'm painting it mauve.
Creating the Max Power channel.
That's right.
It's the wrong way, but faster.
I put a Sega Genesis inside this Nintendo. Fuck. Plays Game Boy games somehow. That's right, I'm a genius. I'm soldering shit. I don't know what I'm doing. Look at that. There's a clean metal spot. Let's put some more metal on it. All right. Yeah, no, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that at all. It's just like unscrewing things and like sandblasting old paint, and I don't know, it brought me a certain level of comfort this week. And then this other dude, Techmoan, is like this like older, I don't want to say elderly because he's probably not too much older than we are. But his hair and his beard are gray, so that in my mind, like that's elderly. He's an older British gentleman who goes through like weird audio shit, and like he buys weird old broken audio stuff and tries to fix it, or like gives reviews on like a new tape player came out. Let's fucking listen to that shit. But he fixed this thing I had never seen, Kris, and I don't know if you're familiar with this. It was a Philips or Sharp. It was one of the two. But boombox that had a radio, a cassette deck on top, two big fuck-off speakers, but also a record player in a boombox. And like, it's like a stand-up model, so like you put the record in and like close the door and it like engages the fucking pin so that it'll spin, but it's vertical. It was the fucking wildest thing I had ever seen. And he was like, these things, you know, are like rare boomboxes and they're like collector's items and shit. And, you know, you can get them on eBay, but they're kind of expensive. And I was like, what does kind of expensive mean? And then I went on eBay and it was like, I think it was like the Sharp X200 or something like that. It was like $800. I was like,
Lord.
Get the fuck out of here. And it was broken too. Like it didn't even work. I watched this guy take this thing apart and put like new belts on it. And I was like, oh my, I was fucking fascinated. Like in my sick stupor, I'm looking at this going, this man is a wizard. I don't know what's happening. And it worked when he was done. It was fucking brilliant. I loved it. It was so cool. But I've never seen a fucking portable like boombox record player.
That's crazy. I've never seen that either.
And the weirdest thing about it was that it only worked when it was standing up. It had like a little knobby do on the bottom, like a pressure sensitive knob. And like as soon as he picked it up off the ground, the record stopped playing. So I suppose it was like so that you couldn't carry it around. Like I guess you would carry it to where you were going to break dance and then put on a fucking Slick Rick record and then do some breakdancing. And like, it was fucking wild. It had like 2 needles though. So it was like a continuous play record. So, you know, play side A and then it would stop and the fucking needle in the front would go back. And then it'd start spinning counterclockwise and the needle in the back that you can't see would start going across. So it played side B. It was fucking wild, man. It was so cool. Yeah. That's what I did this week. I played like no video games. I just fucking watched an old British dude and some silent French man. Fucking.
I did some sort of tinkering today, actually. I kind of got it. I was able to catch up on work pretty well this week, and I was trying to get a jump start on my next week work because, you know, we're coming up on Christmas here. I'm taking the following week off, so I want to be as prepared as possible to kind of make this next week as light as I can. So I decided that one of the products that they got for me to make a video on is the new clear Super NES shells.
Okay.
Right? So I was like, all right, this will be an easy one. I'm just going to crack it out, just set up my camera. I got like an hour or two extra. I'm just going to set up my camera. I'm going to just swap the guts out and call it a day. It should be a nice, easy video to make. I was very, very wrong about that. I've never opened up a Super Nintendo before, but I had one junk Super Nintendo. It was something that someone gave me. It had a giant hole in it. Like the top left corner of it was completely shattered. Like this Super Nintendo was, I don't know if it actually worked beforehand. So I opened the thing up and immediately I'm starting to see like, all right, this is, okay. There's the eject button. I didn't think about the eject button. This has got springs in it. There's the reset button is spring loaded too, and it's not a button. It's like a thing that pushes up, and this has all these different things going on in here. So I'm like kind of figuring out as I go, and I'm like looking up YouTube videos. Like I'll do some recording and be like hit a wall and be like, nope, this isn't going to work. I have to look this up. So I'll pause recording and then look at the YouTube.
I have to seek the help of a professional.
Because I'm very much not a professional. And it turns out that this broken system that I had was a CPU 01 unit, which is apparently like a somewhat uncommon one that also has a completely different shaped chipset inside. So I finally get to the point where I'm like, all right, well, this isn't closing. What's going on here? And then I finally figured out, oh, I have this weird version of the Super Nintendo. That's why it's not closing. And I had to like clip a couple of little pieces of plastic off of the inside of this shell. But also, what's wild about the shell is that they tell you it's built to not have any of the RF shielding on it.
Okay.
Like, you take off all the RF shielding because the point is to see as many of the system's guts as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's safe.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I turned it on, so I put it together. I turned it on. My house didn't blow up, so there's that.
So so far,
I feel like that metal stuff was there for a reason, but what do I know? Clearly not a lot. I meant to get this done in like a half an hour. It was several hours today.
Yeah.
Several hours. Because it started with I had to, a friend of mine came over to show me something that was, long story, the dishwasher that broke. The guy came out and fixed it, and then he explained why the thing broke in the first place was because the dishwasher was hooked up to the cold water instead of the hot water, and they just needed to switch this thing. But I didn't know what the thing was because I wasn't here when the guy came to do the dishwasher fixing. I was up in North Jersey. So my friend came over and showed me, like, look, this is what he's talking about. All you got to do is get that thing off of there and put it on there. And that took me for freaking ever because I have a garbage disposal. And garbage disposal is just
such a pain in the ass.
It's just right in the way. And I'm like, my left shoulder doesn't work super well. And that's the arm I needed to use. It was the only angle I could get with the wrench to unscrew the stuff from the pipes. And I'm like, oh God, I'm in so much pain. This hurts so much. But I successfully fixed the rest of the dishwasher. I was very, very proud of myself for that. But that's why I had to take a break in the middle of recording and then do the dishwasher, then come back down and finished recording the video. And I finished it, but I really thought that was going to be easier than it was. It really wasn't. Because, it's a cartridge-based system, right? You crack open a cartridge-based system, you take out the guts, you plop in another one, screw them back in, call it a day. No. There's stuff. That eject button, the way the system, like you push up the power thing and like this little arm locks the cartridge in place. Like, there's a lot going on in a Super Nintendo. It's freaking weird in there.
There is.
Shows you what I know.
I think this coming year, I want to fuck around with some of that shit some more. I don't know why.
Neat.
I just feel like I want to tinker. We were talking about it a little bit last week too. Of like, I really don't want, like, they announced that the next Spider-Man game is coming out like in the fall of 2023, and the Advance Wars reboot is never coming out. Is what I've decided. So like, I really just want to like go through some older shit and like knock some stuff off the list, like, and kind of focus on the back catalog this year coming up, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And like tinker with some stuff, and I don't know.
They also sent me
feeling
shells.
Nostalgic and vintage.
They sent me shells for Dreamcast and PlayStation 1 as well to make videos out of, and those terrify me because that's disk drives. That's
sure. I'll fucking send me the PlayStation 1. I'll do it. I'm not.
I didn't say I'm unwilling. I just said I'm terrified.
I'll tear apart my PlayStation 1. I don't give a shit.
Well, I've got 5 of them. I don't care about breaking one. It's just like, the time that it's involved. Because, this Super Nintendo was one of, like, I had 3 Super NES ones, and that was one of them. And, like, that one's, now it's all pretty and clear. But my Super NES Junior is the one that I have hooked up, because it's the only one that's not yellow.
There's a dude on YouTube called Odd Tinkering is the name of his channel, and he does this fucking like peroxide bath with like a heating element and UV light and whatever. Fucking takes away all the yellowing on old systems.
Oh, good old retrobrighting, yeah.
Yeah, retrobrighting. Yeah.
The concern with Super Nintendo is that once you retrobrite it, that's it is eventually going. It's not permanent. Like
You
another
avoided
couple
the
of years.
warranty.
Well, yeah. Well, after a couple of years, that yellowing is going to come back. The other
Sure.
trouble with it is depending on how you do it, because there's a lot of different ways to tackle that. The Super Nintendo in particular, it tends to make the plastic a bit more brittle. Which is a bit of a concern. Not that much of it. I'm not throwing my Super Nintendo around or anything, but it's
Sure.
you know,
I mean, I do punt it around a bunch. I hit the kids with it just for fun.
Something of a concern. Not a crazy one, but something of a concern. So I don't know. I've always been a little nervous about doing it to that. I need to do it to my Dreamcast too. My white Dreamcast is like super yellowed for some reason.
Yeah.
But I just have my black one hooked up, and that's the one that I put mode in. So it's pretty much the white one's just there for nostalgia. I just want it to look pretty, you know. But
yeah,
I don't use it. I just want to have it.
I get it.
All right, so I did similar to the conversation that we were having about tackling games that we were going to try to make ourselves do. That's been on the backlog. I've definitely made the concerted effort to play Dead Cells. Right, I reorganized my folders on the Switch a little bit, and I've moved Dead Cells right up to the front. That's going to be like my next one that I'm going to really give that one a solid try. I haven't started yet.
I really want to know what you think.
I really want to know what I think too, but I moved it up to the front, but I also saw that ElecHead was on sale, and that's what I've been playing. Somebody I follow on Twitter has just been like raving about this game for ages, and it looked super cool. So I gave it a shot, and it is actually super cool. It seems like it's super short. Like, I think I'm almost done with it, but it is very, very clever. You're this little dude, and you are like a battery. Your head's basically a battery. And everything that you touch becomes electrified. So you're in this whole world where there's like machinery everywhere. And you need to operate the machinery. But like if you jump, it turns off because you're no longer touching the surface. It's all about conducting electricity to solve these like screen by screen puzzles, more or less. It's incredibly clever. And you eventually get the ability to throw your head. So you can like... You throw your head up on a platform that turns on like the platform that it's on, but you can only survive without your head for 10 seconds. Then you have to run around, but your little body doesn't generate electricity. Only your head does. So you can like use that to solve puzzles like, oh, I need to get across this without turning it on. So I'll throw my head to the other side of the platform and then I'll go through here as my little body and then pick up my head on the other side. It's a super clever game. I'm really enjoying it. That's
cool.
It does seem a little on the short side, but I'm not too mad about that. It was on sale, and I'm glad I gave it a try. I also, because it was on sale, I downloaded Hades. So that's there too. I now own Dead Cells and Hades, and I am going to give them both a try. I've been reluctant to try both of them because I think they both look incredibly cool, but there's something about them that says, I don't know, I don't think this game is for me. And I guess we're going to find out because you know what? I didn't necessarily think Hollow Knight was for me either. And then it turned out to be very much for me. So
yeah. And it got there eventually.
So I'm hoping that both Dead Cells and Hades eventually click with me. We'll see what happens.
Man, I'm really curious as to how you're going to feel about Dead Cells. Because that might convince me to give it another try or convince me that my initial assessment was correct.
Well, I will theoretically let you know. I don't know if it's going to be next week or the week after. I'm going to try to just start it soon. Me and John have also been playing Just Shapes and Beats. I know he's been into it a lot lately. But just like, watching it on YouTube and farting around with it a little bit in like the party mode. But he actually asked me to play through the story mode. And goddamn, if that isn't still one of the coolest games I've ever played in my life. And that's the story mode is still so affecting. Like it's ridiculous how many feels that game brings me. And it's because of the music is so good, but it's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I freaking loved that game. It was one of the, it's one of my favorite games of this generation. And I was really happy when, John asked me to play through the story mode because like I had been kind of like thinking about doing that again.
Do we consider that part of this generation?
Just Shapes and Beats?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's on Switch.
I don't know. I'm just curious.
How old is it?
I think it's pretty old. I don't know. Like I don't know. Are we officially into, like, can we say that we're in the next generation with, like,
Oh, with like PS5 and Xbox Series?
Yeah.
Well, you might be, but I'm not.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's part of it came out in 2018 originally. So yeah, that's the generation I'm still a part of.
Sure.
So, it's definitely one of my favorite games of that generation, or this generation, whatever you want to say.
Right.
And I'm glad I had an excuse to play through it again. The story mode's not that long, but we just finished the main part of the story tonight, and there's like a whole DLC chapter that I've never played before. It was released way after I had finished it. And there's also some other single player content that I never got to, like the challenge modes. So I think we're going to try doing more of that stuff together and like see the rest of that game. That's exciting. Awesome. God, what a great game.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Mario Kart expansion courses. This was fun. So I eventually called Nintendo and was like, all right, what the fuck?
What's up, you dicks?
I'm here, right? I can do everything with my expansion pack. I have access to everything everything. Everything's fine. Your online system is working exactly how it's supposed to, except I cannot play the Mario Kart expansion courses. The Mario Kart expansion courses are a separate download. You have to actually go onto the eShop and download this thing. See, I thought it was just an update. Because that's what makes sense, right? The thing gets updated and then you can no. You actually have to go to the eShop and manually download the booster courses. You have to download that. And then if you have the expansion pack, or if you pay for the whatever, like it's like this, it's add-on content for the game itself. It's weird. Okay. It doesn't work like, and I don't know why it doesn't work like an update, right? I kind of feel like it should have just been an update, but I don't understand enough about the way this shit works.
Wouldn't it be because it's also purchasable if you are not on the like expansion pack? Because you can still buy it, right?
Yeah, you can absolutely buy it. And how you would do that
so
is
that
like,
kind of makes sense, I guess.
But it just goes into the game, and that stuff's already there. You can always look at it, and then when you click on it, it'll say, if you want to play this, do this.
Okay.
So then you go and download the thing, and then adds a little star to your main menu, and that's how you're able. It was weird, and I did it. I downloaded it, and then I played the courses. They're fucking great. I was very happy with them. Had a lot of fun playing it with my nephews and stuff. Oh, this was so much fun. When I was out there, I did not see this coming at all.
Mm-hmm.
We played baseball.
Okay.
NES baseball on Nintendo Switch Online. For some reason, my nephew was just like, he's been playing it a bunch lately. So we played baseball, ice hockey, and Tecmo Bowl for like an afternoon. It was fucking fantastic. I've never really played NES baseball. I've played it for a couple of minutes against the computer, but it's fucking boring because I'm playing against the computer. I've never played against a person before in that game. And like, I totally get it. It's extremely rudimentary, but it's so much fun. It was still so much fun. Obviously, ice hockey's fun. NES ice hockey's great. That's still great no matter what. That's not a surprise. Right. Tecmo Bowl was another one. Like I couldn't believe how much he liked it. Like, dude's 9 years old and he's just like, nah, baseball, ice hockey, and Tecmo Bowl. This shit's great. We just had a ball with that. It was awesome to play.
I mean, he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong. Shit was great. I just didn't expect Tecmo Bowl and ice hockey, like I can see way more because baseball is so rudimentary. It's like,
Yeah.
there's not much to that game. It looks old, like it looks dated, and more so than Tecmo Bowl and ice hockey. But like, shit was fun. We were having a blast with that, and I got to try the golf in Switch Sports. That was pretty fun. I liked that. I got into that one pretty well. I liked the way that worked with the online play. That was fun. The Mario Kart expansion courses were great. Yeah, that was really. It's a really good time. I had a blast with that. Oh, and Mario Strikers. I've my nephew really likes Mario Strikers. Like nobody in my house really likes that game, so I never get to play it because playing it single player is like fine. But then I got to like play a couple of matches with my nephew and was like, man, this game is freaking great. I'm glad I own this game. I am gonna get around to like someday somebody in my house is gonna be like, yeah, let's play Mario Strikers. I'm like, yes. Sign me up.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. It's gonna be great. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun. There was the the Switch recap thing. Right, you can do that. Let me take a look at that. I forget what mine was. Let me just boot that back up. Where's the old email? That was fun. I did it with all the kids too. I forget what John's most played game was. Obviously Minecraft. Lego Jurassic World, and I forget, and What the Golf. Those were his 3 most played games.
What
honestly,
a basic Betty.
God, What the Golf is such a good game.
Yeah.
All right, where is that thing? Come on. I didn't delete it. I know I didn't delete it. And I get so many goddamn emails. There it is. Year in review. Show me my stats, Nintendo. What are your guesses? What do you think?
What do I think?
All right, most played. First category is most played. What do you think?
For you this year?
The 3 games I played the most this year. There's no way in hell you'll guess the third one.
Dadish 1, 2, and 3. It's my guess for everything. Monkey Island?
No, that actually didn't take me that long.
No, okay. I have no idea.
Kirby
I feel
and
like
the Forgotten
you've played...
Land.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I feel like you've played so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't like a Mario Maker year where you're like, I put 8 billion hours into Mario Maker and 7 minutes into Zelda. That was my year.
I wish it would show me the actual time I put into it, but the other Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Ring Fit Adventure, of course, I've put a ton of hours into that, and Collection of Mana.
Huh,
because Secret of Mana took me so goddamn long to finish. The next category.
I forgot that you played that.
Played at launch.
Oh, God, I have no idea. Kirby?
Yeah. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Kirby's Dream Buffet, and Portal 2.
Okay.
That's the thing. I don't understand this category entirely. Like
that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I played just about everything at launch, so why are you singling out these 3? This is fun. 3+ years of play. Which 3 games did they single out that I've played for 3 years?
Fucking Kirby?
Nope. Forgotten Land was this year, so.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Horizon? Ring Fit?
Ring Fit you got. Horizon, absolutely I played Horizon that long. Why isn't that on here? It's because it's only 3 games.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you definitely have played that. What's that stupid one? 1-2 Switch, or Fuck You Switch, or
no,
We All
fuck
Switch?
That game. Never,
Switch your mother?
Never played that. As Animal Crossing, it's another one.
Okay.
And Collection of Mana. Apparently I've owned that game for 3 years.
Have you?
Okay, here we go. Most played by month. Let's see. January, I played Collection of Mana for 24 hours. In January, I played... Let's see, okay, here we go. I only put 18 hours in Animal Crossing, because I was pretty close to done in that. I played it for 54 days, though. Wait. I don't understand. It says most played January. Oh, I think that's my total for the year. I only put 18 hours in Animal Crossing this year, but I played it 54 days this year.
But
Mario
the most
Tennis
that
Aces
you played
only
was
got
in January.
3
Is that what you're saying?
hours. I think that's what this means. Yeah, I played Buenos Blob the most in January. Odyssey, Fighter Z. Boy, let's see. What if I actually put some real time into? Big Brain Academy, hours played 4 hours. That doesn't seem right. I feel like I've put more than 4 hours into that game.
Yeah.
We've played a ton of that game this year. That seems wrong.
Have you played a lot of fucking Fighter Z this year?
No, I played it. There was like 2 days that I played it with John. It's just showing me all. I think it's just showing me all the games I played, and then showing me which month I played them the most in. I never did finish Skyward Sword HD. I put 58 hours into that and didn't finish it. Clubhouse games. See, Clubhouse games got 15 hours. That's
the one I was fucking thinking of, not fucking 1-2 Switch.
Oh, right. No, Clubhouse games. Fucking great game. I only put 9 hours in Mario Kart. I only put 7 hours in Infernax. God, Infernax was great. What a great game. But that's also not a very long game, so that makes sense.
Sure.
Let's see here. 30 hours was what I put into Kirby in the Forgotten Land. You know what? Show me by time. What were my most... Okay, here we go. 27 hours of Ring Fit, 24 hours of... Oh, look at that. Collection of Mana is tied with Kirby's Dream Buffet for 24 hours.
Okay.
I put 22 hours into Portal 2, 18 into Animal Crossing, 17 into Mario Party, 16 into Smash Brothers.
So many hours in the Mario Party.
Oh, Blossom Tales 2 only took me 14 hours to finish. I've played 11 hours of What the Golf this year. Monkey Island took me 10 hours. I put 10 hours of Switch Sports in. Only 9 hours of N64. I really thought I put more of that in Pilot Wing 64, but I guess not.
You're fucking slacking, dude.
I've already played 8 hours of Atari 50. God, I need to get back to that. I haven't. I'm like only about halfway through the story. I love it so goddamn much. I miss it. I've just been trying to focus on ElecHead, and then of course, I had to finish Haiku the Robot for review. That took time out of my Atari. Haiku I beat in 8 hours, which is the same amount of time I put into Ori and the Will of the Wisps before I decided I didn't want to play it anymore.
Yeah, it's weird. You were like really into that, and then
I loved the first one, and then like the second one really just kind of I fell off on it. Wow, Turrican Anthology 1 got 6
too much
hours.
of the same?
Where's 2? No, it was, I can't remember what it was. There was like certain mechanics of it that made me think like, I don't want to do this anymore. I would just look at the map and be like, that just seems like work. And that's when I decided I didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. So I'm really hoping I get one of those backbone controllers. That's like really, I really don't even want anything for Christmas this year. Like as I'm sitting here like thinking about it and we were making our lists and whatnot, like I really don't need anything. I mean, obviously there's a ton of like stupid shit I want, but like what a Christmas gift, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Really the only thing I could even think of was like one of those backbone controllers because I could get Xbox Live. And I could just play it on my phone because my phone can more than handle it, you know?
This is interesting. So the Turrican collections, I put 5 hours into Turrican Collection 2 and 6 hours into the Turrican Collection 1. I put 5 hours into Pac-Man Museum. That seems like a lot for Pac-Man, you know?
It does seem like quite a bit of Pac-Man.
The Pac-Man Versus, we put a lot of time into that in family time because that game is really fun. What's the other one?
I mean,
all right, we made it to Dadish.
Not mad
Dadish 3 took me 3 hours. Dadish 3 seems to be the one I put the most time into. Let's see. Oh, Combinera, that game was fun. God, I played 3 hours of... Oh, I played 3 hours of Chrono Cross? No, I played the Radical Dreamers for 3 hours. Where are the rest of the Dadish games?
They're right over there.
There it is, Dadish 2. 2 hours? That's all that took? Yeah, first Dadish 1 and 2 were only 2 hours. I want them to be more. Play them again.
I want to be more.
Profound sadness. What a year. There's a lot of really fun games on here, and that's just this system. That was the other one. I finally got past. I was stuck. I was sure that I'd finally hit a wall in art style Picto-Bits. Right, because I've been playing that with Ellie a bunch. God, I friggin' love that game. I've always loved Picto-Bits, but I never finished it back in the day. Like I bought it around when it came out on 3D. I bought it on my 3DS when I first heard of it, and it was a DSi game. So this game has been out for a long time, and I got pretty far into it, and then I thought I was like, I'm never gonna finish this, and then I stopped playing it. But then Ellie got into it from hearing the music, and God, that's been fun. We were playing it the other night, and then I showed her Excite Bike, because that's the level that she's been stuck on for a while, is the Excite Bike stage. And then I showed her Excite Bike, and she thought it was the coolest thing in the world. She recognized all the music from the game and the graphics, and she thought it was so cool. And then she wanted to see the other games. So she eventually beat the Excite Bike stage, and she started Devil World. So I showed her Devil World this morning, and she thought it was super cool. But I was stuck on the dark mode. Remember I explained the dark mode stages?
Yeah.
I got stuck on the second Super Mario Brothers dark mode stage, which was pretty far into it. And I finally beat it this morning. I've been stuck on it for weeks. It's been like at least 2 weeks of me trying to play this several times a week. And it was by far the hardest level I had played so far. It required, because you had to make 3 bloopers, so it required a ton of white, but they wouldn't give me a lot of white. So I had to just stay alive for an insane amount of time, hoping for them to give me more white blocks to destroy. And I finally did it this morning. So now I'm on the Bowser stage, and I think that's it. I think it's the Bowser stage, and then the last stage, which is like the Thank You Mario or Princess and Other Castle stage, and then I'm done. Then I've completely done all of Picto-Bits, which I never thought I was gonna do. When I finally beat the regular mode, like a month or so ago, I tried the first stage of dark mode. I was like, I'm never doing this, and then I just casually kept trying to do it, and like shit's great. I can't believe how good that game is. I'm so sad it's going away in March. It's fucking gone. eShop closes, and that game is nowhere else and will never be anywhere else.
Yeah, that sucks.
There's a lot of that shit going around right now, and I don't like it.
There is, I know there's been a bunch of stories about that recently, and I haven't paid much attention to it this week. I just haven't been able to dedicate brain power to that, as well
like
as
shit
not
coming off of HBO, right? HBO's delisting Deadwood and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just fucking gone.
It's like you're gonna take away Deadwood. Like, okay, it's kind of weird, but like, good on you, I suppose. Like, let me get my parrot and eye patch, like, because just fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you so very hard for that. Like, it's not okay.
It's weird, like, because you know me, I've been very much on the digital, fucking digital, man. Let's do it. But recently, like, I bought God of War physically. I don't know why. I don't have a great reason, other than I just felt like I should probably buy this physically.
What if you want to play it again someday?
Well, I mean, but like, if I downloaded it, I would still have it, theoretically.
Theoretically, like, maybe you wouldn't. What was that? Something I read about recently where someone was some way, some stuff just goes away. Like, okay, you have bought it, but we're taking it off of your system. Like, it's just not going to be able to be played. Like, in order to launch this software, it has to authenticate, and we will no longer authenticate this. So you're shit out of luck.
Which is absurd.
It is absurd. It's completely absurd.
And
like I get pissed every time I turn on my Switch and I choose one of the games I bought. It says checking to see if software can be played. I get angry every time I see it. I'm like,
yeah,
fuck you.
Fuck you. I bought it.
I bought it. That's how it got on the system, you dits.
You dits. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, I'm kind of switching back towards, like, maybe I will buy shit physical again. I don't know.
I don't either. Well, I think on that note, we should probably take ourselves a break so that we can come back and talk about bread.
Your mom should take a break.
She
Oh,
should.
that's right. I went there.
She works hard.
She does. She deserves one. She's a good lady.
She
like
is
her.
a good lady. She watches my kids. Those little buggers take a lot of energy.
Fucking watch my kids. They're 13, but they definitely need to be watched because they're 13.
They're up to all kinds of shit.
Oh my God. I know. They won't they're just gross. Did you guys just fucking shower? Like, do kids do this at your kids' school? Like, I don't know how much attention you pay, like, when you drop the kids off at school. But, like, I took the girls to school. When Tiff was sick last week, I took the girls to school on, like, Thursday and Friday. And, like, I get on the girls when they go out of the house. I'm like, you have to brush your hair. You have to brush your hair because you look, as my grandmother used to say, you look like you don't fucking belong to anybody. Like, that you look like you don't belong to anybody. You got to brush your goddamn hair. And they were like, Dad, it's like nobody, like everybody looks like we do. And I was like, that's fucking horse shit. There's no way. And then I dropped the kids off at school and I'm looking at all the fucking kids, more specifically the girls, but some of the boys too, as they're walking up to school and like none of them brush their hair. What the fuck is wrong with all of you people? You're not going to Walmart at 10 o'clock at night. Brush your goddamn hair. You go to school. Fuck. Is that just me?
That's not the case around here. There's a bunch of the kids seem generally pretty well groomed over here.
Nah, they have fucking slack-jawed yokels apparently where I live. I live in a nice town. The fuck? I'm moving. Moving to Vermont. I've decided.
You got to move to a shitty neighborhood. So
I got to move to a shitty
nice.
neighborhood. I got to keep going further north. I think that's what I've decided. It's been so cold, but no snow. Because it was like, it's going to be freezing. Like freezing cold. You're going to go outside. Your nipples will be able to fucking cut glass. You're going to be pissed off about it. But then it's going to warm up a little bit and rain for 2 days straight. Could have been snow if it would have been a day earlier. Now, fuck you. Have some mud.
I hate that shit.
Have a muddy Christmas. You know that old fucking Christmas chestnut? I'm dreaming of a brown muddy-ass Christmas with tons of paw prints on my floor.
Well, we're going to take ourselves a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some bread. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from geekade.com. Stick around.
Talk about some bread.
Hi everyone, Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast. And now, here's a quick look at some of the other original content available now from our partners and geekade.com.
Kris, congratulations! Salutations, even, are in order for our friends at the SNES podcast. Our homies, our gnomies, even, because 'tis the season of Christmas gnomes. They finally crossed the 200 episode mark, and to celebrate, they had some guests on. Not us, but they had some other guests on for another draft day. Join Greg and Joe in welcoming Ashley, Nicholas, and Ollie to the SNES Podcast 200 Draft Episode Sequel. I'm just fucking with you guys. I mean, you could have called, but congratulations.
They did invite us. They invited
Did they?
both of us. They did. We both couldn't do it. Oh, they've been. This one's been in the works for a while. So it was a while back.
Son of a bitch! I take it all back. Let me redo that. First up, congratulations are in order for our friends at the SNES podcast. Ignore all the other shit I said. They finally crossed the 200 episode mark, and to celebrate, they had some guests who had time for them on for another draft day. Join Craig and Joe in welcoming Ashley, Nicholas, and Ollie to the SNES podcast, episode 200, draft episode sequel. That is the only time I've read that commercial.
No, it wasn't. It was a sequel.
Stop it! Oh, you see what I did there? Ba-dum-bum.
Next, I'm familiar with the name Depeche Mode, but I honestly couldn't tell you what songs they're known for. Matt, on the other hand, is a huge fan and spent his turn on our music podcast educating my dumbass. These synth pop legends have been making music for over 40 years, and they're truly experts of their craft. Love them or not, there's no denying that they're very good at what they do, so if you're like me, or like I was before we recorded our episode, you should tune into Turning Tracks Episode 4, Depeche Mode, because it was awesome.
Hungry Like a Wolf's a good fucking song.
I didn't even make the cut.
That's
it was
wild.
awesome.
I'm not a big Depeche Mode guy. But
I'm not going to say I'm like a huge Depeche Mode fan. Like, I'm not going to be like listening to them constantly now, but I really, really liked all the songs that he picked for me. Like, that episode was freaking great. And I'd never heard most of them.
Lead singer Simon something, right?
Sure.
I think so. I don't know.
I'm bad at names.
All right, that's fair. They're pretty dope, I guess. Anyway, finally, Slinky. Everyone loves a Slinky. I mean, brass tacks of the situation, it goes downstairs alone or in pairs. It does not, however, roll over your neighbor's dog. That's Log. That's an entirely different animal. No, wooden Slinkies out in the world as far as I'm aware. What does this have to do with anything, you ask? Well, it's a warning. Warning. It's danger. Slinky. In an all-new weekend rental podcast, Ryan and Andy deliver a very important PSA regarding the world's, and this is very fucking serious, and I hope everybody understands that we are not taking the piss, Kris. We're not. This is some serious ass. You know the problems I've been having with Slinkies, Kris.
Man, you got some serious ass Slinky problems.
Ryan and Andy deliver a very important, nay, life-saving PSA regarding the world's most dangerous Slinky. There's also some like Atari and Pokemon talk as well, but the real meat here is the fucking man-slicing Slinky. Man-slicing.
Just good old man-slice. It's like mansplaining, but way more lethal.
Way more lethal. It's the old MSS. You know what we used to call it back in the day when it was stalking us from village to dell? The man-slicing Slinky. The MSS. It's running wild, Kris. It's all over the news. You watch the news? No. You don't fucking watch the news. You go on Twitter. Twitter won't tell you the truth because they don't want you to know the truth about the MSS. Don't miss Weekend Rental episode 140. The gamers slink around.
For all this and more from us and our partners, be sure to keep your eyes on those wild-ass Slinkies. And
Man-slicing, Kris.
Man-slicing. Alright, we're back. We're back and better than ever. This is the Ferg birthday special. Happy birthday, Ferg. We're going to talk about video game bread.
That's right. The oven is preheated. The buns are buttered.
Shit's been rising.
Buns? I don't know. Shit's rising. That's right. There's yeast.
It's covered
all
in
over
greased plastic
crevices.
wrap.
There's ointments for that. But, crevices.
Nooks and
took
crannies.
a turn quickly. I'm sorry. I apologize. Sorry, Ferg.
Who doesn't love a good nook and cranny for your birthday?
I do. I enjoy. Man, I went years without eating English muffins because I was like, those are fucking pedestrian. Man, tell you what. good nook and cranny with some melted butter. Some, like, Irish butter, though, like that Kerrygold shit.
Ooh.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
All right,
I did pizza dough today, and
yeah,
I could stand to eat. I could stand to eat again.
I could eat.
But anyway, yeah. So I came up with. I just kind of word barfed some stuff today that I think. All right. So the first obvious one, the first one that came to mind was Burger Time. Burger Time it's all about the bread. I mean, it's about the stuff inside the bread, obviously. But you gotta step on the bottom of the bun, and then you gotta step on the top of the bun, and all the other stuff in between. But you gotta step on the top and the bottom the most. They're the most important bits.
It to me, like when you mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, like the very first thing that came to mind was Burger Time. Like, oh, video game bread. Like, what is iconic? And I love Burger Time.
Oh, that game's great.
I love Burger Time. It is a really hard game. Like, shockingly hard. But when you said video game bread, like, that to me was like the most iconic. That was the first image that showed up because I don't know, it's such a simple concept, right? Which I think is applicable to bread as well. Because I don't know, like we've had a lot of people on the show and we've asked them, their favorite breads and whatnot. But a lot of times, like what makes bread so good is its simplicity. There's kind of a comfort in the basicness of bread. There's like a warming quality to it. I don't know. I'm getting really philosophical about bread all of a sudden, but there's like there's just a really comforting thing about the simplicity of like bread and butter, and applying that to like a video game thing. Like Burger Time is a very, very difficult game, but at its core, it is a very simple game. You're making a burger. You got to walk over some shit and make it fall, right? And like not get fucked up by a pepper, which I mean, I think is just kind of good advice for life in general.
I mean, you see a giant pickle walking towards you, you go the other way.
Fucking run. I just honestly, whether it's a actual pickle that has grown legs, that's a fucking problem. That's way worse than the man slicing Slinky, if we're being honest. Fucking pickle with legs, that's some bullshit. Or like a man wearing a pickle costume, like not at a convention, that's a fucking issue too. You're either
just
on a New York subway.
Recreationally, that's not okay.
Yeah, like if you're on a New York subway, like okay, you're gonna see a dude wearing a pickle costume. That's gonna happen. If you're at a convention, probably somebody in a pickle costume. Especially if it's a convention about fucking pickles. Right? I'm sure they have those.
Oh, but yeah, PickleCon.
Oh, yeah, PickleCon. We were there last year. We had a panel. I forgot.
Yeah, PickleCon,
we were talking about video game
BrianCon's a good one.
Fuck.
I hear Dilly Bills is going to be great this year. That one's held in Buffalo. That's a bit of a ride, but you know what? It's worth it for the good pickles.
It is. It really is. Kosher Clash it's one of my favorites.
Oh, good old Kosher Clash. That's great because the music there is always the best. You know?
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Bunch of Hava Nagila, but salty. Fuck. What was I saying? The simplicity of Burger Time is just really fucking like timeless. That's a game that's still great today, like with all the modern advancements and all the stupid stuff that we can do with video games today. Burger Time is still insanely fun.
Mm-hmm. And really, really not sanitary at all.
No. Foot burgers are not my thing.
Yeah. Really, really weird situation. But it also just reminded me of another one I just threw in there. Another great bread situation, again, burger related, would be Short Order, which is a power pad game for the NES. It's basically Simon.
Yeah.
Except you're building a giant burger. And of course, there's a bun involved in both the top and the bottom of whatever burger you're making.
Yeah, I mean, how could there not be?
Right? Then it wouldn't be a burger. And that's another really awesome game. I mean, again, it's basically Simon, but it's got a lot of it's got a lot of personality. It's got some good music. It's freaking great. And you know what? It's got bread in it. Boom.
You know, I
So
think
this-
one...
Okay,
Sorry,
go ahead.
one that I don't think was on your list, Chris, but it just occurred to me. I think one of my favorite games with bread probably is Katamari Damacy. Right? You're rolling up fucking baguettes. You're rolling up loaves. You're rolling up slices. There's bread
Was that
all over
in
that
the
game.
second one?
I think so. Or re-roll, maybe. I don't know. That game's lousy with bread. One of them is lousy with bread. There's bread.
There's definitely
all over the
bread
place.
somewhere in Katamari. You're not wrong. Yeah. Okay.
And it
I'm into that.
gives you that, like, when you pick up like the fucking weird baguette shape. It's difficult, right? It makes your Katamari lopsided. I don't know. When you play Katamari, do you try to like pay attention to how you're picking things up, or you just roll over everything?
I'd say somewhere in the middle. Like, there's definitely some paying attention to how I roll things up.
I don't think I've ever paid attention to how I roll things up in Katamari. I just fucking go for it. I don't know. I could go for a new Katamari. We're being honest with each other, and we're all friends here, so I see no reason not to.
Yeah, I'd play a new Katamari. I'd do that.
Yeah. Right.
So, Dan, talk to me about I Am Bread, because I don't know anything about this game. But if
That's
obviously we're going to talk about bread, we got to talk about I Am Bread.
It's among the hardest video games ever made. Because, like, imagine trying to control a piece of bread. Okay? Like, just imagine in your mind, like, okay, it would be a piece of bread. Now I'm going to make my way from one end of the room to the other, right? Even, like, and the tasks in I Am Bread are more complicated than that. But let's just simplify things and say you're a piece of bread. You're going to get yourself from one side of the room to the other. And imagine what that control's like. And then imagine that you make those controls as just fucking complicated as you possibly can. Like, did you ever play, like, Quap or anything like that on the computer?
Played Octodad.
Okay. Like, imagine if Octodad was a piece of bread. That's just fucking hard. Yeah, like, it's really stupidly hard. It's absurd. And it's one of the funniest games that I've ever played, because the very concept of I Am Bread is just nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. It is stuff and nonsense, Chris. But trying to wrap your head around, okay, I'm actually trying to control this piece of bread, this fucking sentient slice, to get from point A to point B. It's so fucking hard, but it's so funny. It's so funny. It's funny in the way, oh man, what was that game? There was a couple of them for DS. I think they made them for the computer too. It was like Surgeon Simulator, I think it was
Trauma
called.
Center.
Or Trauma Center. Right? Like, how funny that game was at how bad you were at it. You know, it is very similar to how I Am Bread is.
Huh.
It's great. It's impossible, but it's great.
Should give it a try sometime.
You really should. Like, it's one of the games that, like, kids can play because they're going to suck at it. Because everybody sucks at it. And, like, if you're trying to get good at I Am Bread, like, you're entirely missing the point. It's absurdist, like, art in its highest.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
Yeah.
So the next thing that popped in my head was there's totally a stage in Toy Commander for Dreamcast that takes place in a kitchen, and there's totally a piece of bread on a plate in one of those stages.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to take your word for it. I don't remember that part in Toy Commander.
I am pretty sure I didn't imagine it. And that's some video game ass bread right there. It looks huge because you're a little toy. Just a big old piece of bread.
That's fine.
Anyway.
I mean, is it as good as the bread in Grim Fandango?
I don't know. I've not played that.
Oh man, that game's fucking obtuse shit, but I love it. But there's like a section, I forget exactly where it is in the game, but like you go and like get a baguette. And he just walks around with a baguette for a little while. Pretty dope.
Oh, speaking of baguettes, that's another one that's got baguettes in Punch-Out for Wii. When you fight Glass Joe, there's the little sequence in the beginning. Glass Joe gets a baguette, and then when you beat him up, he sees like croissants and stuff.
He really does.
That's some video game bread. Nailed it. This is going great. So I don't know what this stuff is supposed to be, but in Bubble Bobble for NES, there's certain stages where you come across what I referred to as a kid as Batman bread. It looks like a loaf of bread with the bat symbol on it. It's like orange and black. And I don't know what it's supposed to be. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be Batman bread. I'm not even sure it's supposed to be bread. But when I was a kid, I called it Batman bread. And my sister and I would always get excited. We'd beat a stage and the bubbles would all turn into Batman bread. Like, Batman bread! Then we'd go around and collect all the Batman bread. And if that's not actually supposed to be bread, I'm sure there's something else bread related in Bubble Bobble. There's food everywhere in that game. Batman bread.
Yeah, no, it's definitely Batman bread.
It's definitely Batman bread.
Yeah, man, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. If I'm being honest, I'm trying to picture the fuck that even is. But
you know what? And I can't look it up because I'm not going to look up Bubble Bobble Batman bread.
Oh, I'll type that shit in right now. I don't care what that does to my fucking search history. There's enough weird shit on there already. You spell Bobble. There you go. Bubble Bobble Batman bread.
I think I have a new favorite episode title.
Yeah, no, I think Bubble Bobble Batman bread might... Yeah, no, nothing came up for that. That's really fun to say, Bubble Bobble Batman bread. Like, that's really... That might be better than Man Slicing Slinky.
Bubble Bobble Batman bread.
Bubble Bobble Batman bread. That's right. That's the name of my new YouTube channel where I fix shit poorly. Thanks for checking out Bubble Bobble Batman bread. Make sure to like, click, and subscribe.
I'm too tired for this shit.
Yeah, I did a search and nothing came up for Bubble Bobble Batman bread. As strange as it is, that. I mean, some things came up, but nothing that resembled Bubbles, Bobbles, Batmans, nor Breads. I did get a Batman bobblehead, but that is not a Bubble Bobble Batman bread. That's just a Bubble Bobble Batman head. Bobblehead. Bubbles. God damn it, Ferg. I don't even know what you want from us with this episode. Is this what you wanted? Are you happy, sir?
Are you not entertained?
God damn it. Isn't there bread in Minecraft? And you fucking craft some bread out of some, like, sticks and some ore.
Alright, I'm looking at the instruction manual for NES Bubble Bobble. And I'm trying to see if...
What a fucking absurd sentence you just said.
Is that
So I went to consult the official documentation. From the files.
All right, now I'm looking at all the bad guys and stuff. So yeah, I mean, the closest thing I see in this manual, and it doesn't have a name. They're just a bunch of like crude drawings of like this piece of cake, there's apples, cherry. I think this might be an eclair. That can't be what it is. That can't be it.
God damn, I do love an eclair though. Man, when's the last time you had an eclair, Chris?
I don't think I've ever had an eclair.
What?
If I'm being perfectly honest with you.
Fuck is wrong with you?
A lot of stuff. Gee, we've known each other for a long time.
I know.
The amount of shit that's wrong with me, you could just about fit in the Grand Canyon.
What is shocking is how many things just continue to come up. It's just, you're like, you're the fucking Jelly of the Month Club.
I am the gift
I've
that
never
keeps on
had
giving.
Eclair. You live in the
they're all
Northeast.
like full of cream and shit, right?
Yeah, taste it. Yeah.
I'm not into the cream. You feel
Like a
something
Boston
with cream,
donut
and
you don't like?
No, I'm tagging the fuck out. Not for me.
You like? All right, so let's pull back the curtain a little bit here. You fucking were waxing poetic with your pants unzipped, which is a weird thing to do in combination. You were doing that for Swiss goddamn cheese.
Swiss cheese is fucking amazing.
But you won't, but a fucking Boston cream donut, you're like, nope, that's where I draw the line.
Line
Swiss
drawn.
cheese, which is fucking tastes like asshole, but like not in a fun way.
I can't say I have any personal experience with that, but I will take your word for it.
Well, I do,
and if
Chris.
If that's the case, then sign me up for a big plate of assholes, Dan.
I'm an old salad tosser from round the way, and I'll tell you what. God damn it!
I love Swiss cheese. I don't care. Shit's
but
delicious.
Boston cream donuts,
No. Just no. What weird? No. I didn't even think about it. I'm like, no, not doing it. Not interested.
Oh man, you're missing
Tag me out,
dude. Boston cream
I'm sure
donuts
I'm missing
where it's
out on
at.
a lot of things.
So, like, would you eat Boston cream pie?
Probably.
Is
not.
it okay if it's in a pie?
No.
No,
It's the Boston
okay.
cream itself.
Okay.
I would eat the donut around the Boston cream.
Do you eat jelly donuts?
Sometimes. I don't prefer them. I'm not
But-
like opposed to
so-
them. I just
So you'll eat a weird ass jelly donut with like whatever that mixed berry bullshit is that they put on there,
mhm.
but not a Boston cream donut.
That's right.
What if it was like the peanut butter cream donut?
Yeah, I'm also not a fan of that. I've tried that
okay.
one though.
Okay.
I've been like, all right, yeah, nah, that's not for me.
Is it the texture?
Yeah, it's the texture.
All right. I mean, I guess I understand that because that you don't like the runny egg either. So like that, not that a
Mhm.
runny egg and Boston cream is the same consistency, but it's not so far off to where
Right.
like, okay. All right. Well,
But it's wildly inconsistent. Like,
Yeah.
don't try to think about my food weirdness too much because it is wildly inconsistent. And
No,
I don't
I know.
it doesn't make any sense to me either. Shit does
No.
not make any sense to me either.
God damn. All right.
Mayonnaise
well,
is horrifying to me. Horrifying. Except when I open a can of tuna. I will personally apply mayonnaise to tuna. And I'll be grossed out while I'm doing it, and then I'll fucking eat it. You know what I like? Tuna casserole. You know what's in tuna casserole? Cream of mushroom soup. Condensed cream of mushroom soup from a can. That shit is vile. That is everything that I hate. It's greasy, white, creamy stuff and fucking mushroom bits. Not even good mushrooms, just like weird brown canned mushroom bits.
yeah, no, that's the
floating around in
fucking
there.
mushroom bits that they sweep up off the floor from like actual mushroom shit.
That's the shit that wasn't good. That's the fungus that wasn't good enough to be fed to you normally. And I will eat a tuna casserole that I make personally. I can't eat somebody else's tuna casserole. That would weird me the fuck out. But if I make it, I can totally eat it. I need therapy, Dan.
Tuna casserole is fucking gross.
Right?
But like a
By
tuna
all rights.
steak is awesome.
Oh, tuna
Like-
steak is great, but we're not talking quality food here. This is-
I mean, a fucking like, God, that is 100% the food I don't like. That is like American food. Is my
oh my
least
god,
favorite.
oh yeah, tuna casserole. That
Ugh.
it is quite literally very white food.
God, yeah, I do not like white people food. Is really what like that's where I draw the line. I feel like Swiss cheese is very white people food. I don't know that that's true, but I
It's
feel
very
like
not.
that's
American cheese. American cheese is very white people food. Swiss cheese
Yeah.
is like classy. They'd put that shit on burgers in fancy ass restaurants.
accurate.
They put Swiss
It's
cheese on all
stupid.
kinds of fancy stuff. Oh, Swiss cheese
Stupid.
is so good.
No.
It's so good.
If you're not putting provolone on your burger, you're fucking or peanut butter. That's a whole
Ugh. Putting peanut butter on a hamburger?
dude. Don't fuck you. Try it.
This sounds like the camp of like putting cheddar cheese on an apple pie.
Also awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, legitimately, put some peanut butter on a fucking cheeseburger. Like, for real. It's awesome.
I am morally opposed to this.
Well, get a fucking slider then. So it's not like a big commitment.
Because I'm committed to the burgers. Speaking of burgers,
Burger time. That's a fucking great game.
Next game on the list that popped into my head was, of course, the wonderful Dadish trilogy.
Naturally.
And those games include a criminal by the name of Burger Lurger.
Oh, Burger Lurger.
He's a big walking burger. He's mostly bread. There's not a lot of meat going on in there. There's a lot of big fluffy bun.
Mm.
That's some bread. That's some bread shit right there.
That is some bread shit.
Mm-hmm. This next one is pretty neat. So my daughter has been watching, she actually stopped, but for like a couple of weeks there, she was watching this show on Netflix called Bread Barbershop. Did I talk about this on here, or did I talked about this on this week's episode?
Maybe. I might have ignored it, because that sounds like some weird shit.
Yeah, no, I feel like this would have caught your attention if I talked about it here. I definitely talked about it on TWEP. But so she's been watching this show called Bread Barbershop, and it's about this slice of bread with a big like push broom mustache, who is also like a really fancy barber for cupcakes.
God damn it! You really can just make a show out of whatever you want. It
whatever
really
the fuck you want. So like he comes,
there's just no rules.
He's got like a dog that's a sausage that's really weird, and his assistant is Wilk. It's a carton of milk, but instead of milk, it's Wilk.
Yeah, no, naturally.
I'd
be disappointed if it wasn't.
So when I did a Google search for video game bread, obviously everything that came up was bread, but there are also mobile games based on Bread Barbershop. And one of them's called Bread Run, where you are this bread, Ron Swanson-ass looking piece of bread, and you just run around. This is one of those endless runners. That is some video game bread. Look it up. Bread Run, Bread Barbershop. You won't regret it. And if you do, you won't forget it.
Fucking Bread Barbershop. Get the fuck out of here.
It's real. There's a game coming out next year called Born of Bread.
Oh.
Looks like it's a Paper Mario style RPG. Looks pretty neat, actually. I don't know what it has to do with bread, but bread's in the name.
So that counts.
Oh, right. You're a golem that's like made of bread dough or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Fucking A. Sign me up. Obviously, Donut County. We have to talk about Donut County.
Obviously.
I mean,
donuts are possibly the best bread. Nobody's ever given that as an answer. But like, what's the best bread? A fucking donut.
Fucking donut. but seriously, about Donut County. I mean, obviously, donuts are a thing in that game. But when you really want to talk about bread in Donut County, and this comes up in our house all the time. We quote this all the time. In the beginning of the game, the raccoon, BK, he says to the girl, "You have to stop feeding your dog bread." And she says, "He needs bread to live. He's a certified loaf."
Such a good line.
Slow clap. It's a masterpiece. Donut County is a goddamn masterpiece.
It really is. It's really a great game. And imagine how good it's going to be when we play the explicit line games and you play the he needs bread to live. He's a certified beep.
Except it's not voiced over. That's the problem with that.
It counts.
What, am I supposed to read it and bleep myself out?
Yeah.
See, now you're just making more work for me.
Yeah. Or whatever. It's
obviously
all for the giggles, Chris.
That's what we do. If we do it for the chuckles.
That's right. Bunch of chuckle fucks we are.
Overcooked. That's the thing.
Bread. Lousy with bread.
Yeah, there's bread. There's making pizzas.
There's
in
bread
there.
left, right, and center.
Yeah.
That's fucking absurd, the amount of bread there.
Yeah. Get ready for a good time.
Get ready for a good time.
Let's see. Kirby's Dream Buffet. There's a lot of bread-like creations in Kirby's Dream Buffet. There's entire stages that take place on burger buns and giant cakes.
I would be really sad if there weren't.
Kirby's Dream Buffet is such a good game. I've had a blast with that all year long. It's one of my favorite games of the year. I freaking love that game. We still play it often. The only problem is that game's not 4-player offline, and I don't freaking understand it. How
Only
is that not 4-player
online?
It's only 4-player online. It's 2 players offline, and then like 2 computer players play with you, 2 bots. And like, why?
Because Nintendo. That's why.
I'm so angry about it all the time because I would love to just play it 4-player with all 4 of us in the house all the time, but we can't. We can only do 2 players at a time. This could easily be a 4-player split screen game. I just sigh.
That's so dumb.
It is so dumb. And the last one I came up with was Powdered Toast Man and Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, but I'm not even sure he counts because it's powdered toast.
I mean,
does that count as bread?
Yeah.
Or just a bread-shaped substance?
Powdered Toast Man. So good.
Classic.
Fuck yeah.
You got any others? Because
No.
I think I'm done. I think we're toast, Dan.
Oh, there it was.
Yes.
There it was. I pierced the toast.
All toasters toast toast. Oh, God, how did I not think of that one? Hotel Mario, Bowser's Sourpuss Bread.
Oh, obviously.
There you go.
God, I thought that was going to be the first one you mentioned.
That's the one to leave off on.
I wasn't going to bring it up because you're the Mario guy.
All toasters toast toast.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, for sure, that one.
Yeah, I can't believe that one almost got by me.
God,
Bowser's Sourpuss Bread. All toasters toast toast.
I had taken a note and I was going to send it up the chain to management about you missing all toasters toast toast, obviously. And like, you know, your job, your role here on the Stone Age Gamer podcast was coming into question there for a minute. But thankfully you needed those ingredients right back together and delivered a delicious loaf.
That's what I do.
Birthday.
I
don't know if this is at all what you expected, Ferg. You asked us to talk about bread, and somehow we got Kris talking about eating assholes. So I don't know how that even happened. Which is, I mean, just unacceptable. The language on this show is just unacceptable, and it makes me uncomfortable every week. It really does. It offends my good Christian ears, but
oh boy,
man, Jesus! Merry Christmas, everybody! Because this is your Christmas episode too. Fritz, you got both. You got bread and assholes right there in your Christmas episode.
Fill your stocking with bread and assholes.
From your friends at the Stone Age Gamer. Brian approved. Brian says... But when he says assholes, he means us, not actual fucking balloon knots. Relax. God damn it. What is wrong with you? What do you do to me every week, Kris? I'm not like this normally.
Why are we allowed to do this?
Because nobody told us to stop. People give us money to do this, Kris. A lot of people. Like, a decent number of people are like, yeah, we're going to give you money. Keep doing that. That's weird. I appreciate it. Give us more money. You cheap fucks. No, I'm just kidding. Those of you who are not patrons, however, though, like, if you think this shit is good, man, you don't even know what you're missing. You really don't. Those bonus episodes, so good.
They're the best, apparently. I don't know. I haven't heard them, but I assume that they are as good as you say they are.
I don't know. Evan tells me that he does them, so I assume they're funny. Because we're hilarious.
We are hilarious, but we are. You're tired. You need to go to bed.
I'm not even here anymore. I don't even know what's happening.
Went to bed a half an hour ago.
I really did. This is just fucking. This is just noises now.
That is it. That's all it's ever been, Dan. Let's be real here.
I really assume like halfway through the show it's just meh, 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 meh. That's what I think everybody else is hearing.
All right, that is our show, everyone. Join us next week when we close out the year with the final 2020 10 20 30, 2022 10 20 30 40.
Yeah. Not a big one, right?
No, not a huge one. I mean, it's December. Most of the big releases are November, so we can, reel this one into under 4 hours, hopefully.
Oh, man, maybe. I don't know.
Fingers crossed. So anyway, we're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows on the ElecHead Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all you folks, and we'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That's it, everybody. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep eating bread.
Man, I really thought you were going to say keep eating ass. I'm sitting here going, oh my God, he's going to say it.